So my dad just picked up a new backpack blower. We thought it'd be nice to have around, for one thing, to keep areas clean like that, but it also should be able to blow dry snow pretty well off these paths. I was able to blow off the stones and wet, muddy stuff that was on this path here easily, so I think that'll be really nice for snow. I'm out in our freestall barn. We hauled the manure out of this pit 2 weeks ago, got it emptied out, and what we like to do now is put our manure treatment product in the pit. So this is, it's called Breakdown. It's supposed to help stabilize the nitrogen in the manure, help keep it from building a crust as much in the pit. It's supposed to put 1 pound per cow per year in, so we'll put 4 bags a year in. Usually after we empty out the pit, we'll put 1 bag in and then a second bag a month or 2 later. And then in the spring we'll do it again once the pit's empty. We buy this from Homestead Nutrition. So I'm just gonna sprinkle it on the slats all around the barn and it'll work its way down into the pit. Not sure why I didn't think of this before. I should probably just do this when I'm milking. That way I'm not disturbing the cows during the day when they're trying to rest. Usually I can walk through the pen, but if I'm throwing some dusty stuff on the ground, they get a little bit more worked up. It's Friday afternoon. It's the Friday before Christmas. As you can see, we got a little bit of snow falling right now. Doesn't look like it's gonna amount to much. The ground's kind of warm, so it's not really laying. But they're calling for some pretty cold weather, especially tomorrow night, Sunday into Monday. I'm going to close up all the rest of the curtains and we'll make sure the watering troughs are adjusted so that they don't freeze up. So these curtains on the north side are wearing out pretty good. We stuck this board on there last year just to help seal that up a little bit. So I'm going to put that back in, screw it to those posts, and then we'll drop that top curtain down and close up the rest of these curtains. These curtains are for the crossover and then the holding area there, the back of the milking parlor. I went around the whole barn, closed everything up. Feels a little bit different in here now. So now I'm going to go through and adjust all of our watering troughs. So these don't have heaters on them, but they have a little bleeder line that just lets water flow all the time. And then they won't overflow for a while. This is the overflow pipe here. So there's a couple inches there that it can keep filling up until it hits that. So as long as a cow drinks every once in a while, the water's not even leaking out. But that's just a little flow of water will keep the lines loosened up and they won't freeze. So there it's actually slightly open. I'm just going to open it a little bit more and then we'll be good to go. Alright, that's the speed we're looking for right there. We have 8 watering troughs in the barn, 2 at the end of each pen. Some fresh feed being run out to pen 4. The cows have been getting adjusted to the new corn silage. We made the switch a few weeks ago, right around the beginning of December. So we're feeding a non-BMR silage now, and we're finding the cows seem to do just as well on the non-BMR versus the BMR, at least this year in the varieties that we grew. We saw a little bit of a drop in pounds of milk, but then the fat and protein percentage keeps going up, so the actual pounds of fat and protein production has stayed about the same. We're hitting record high fat and protein percentages that I've never seen before. We just got a report today from the milk company. We're at 4.64% fat and 3.48% protein. So 93 pounds of milk, that comes to about 7.5 pounds of components per cow per day. The highest fat we had seen before was 4.4%. That was last fall. And now we're up at over 4.6%. So it's just crazy. Keeps going up. It's encouraging to see. I would say give some of the credit to the automatic feeding system. Yeah, I don't know if it's genetics or what's improving things year on year, but so yeah, the production's been really good lately. Most of the cows are doing well. We have dealt with a few cases of bad mastitis, got a couple cows sick. Also, some meatritis with the fresh cows, certain cows not cleaning up like we'd like to see after calving. Trying to make some adjustments to our pre-fresh ration. Had a lot of changes this year with the feeding system, mixing for them. I don't know, hopefully those things start to settle out a little bit. Figured I'd take a glance in the pre-fresh pen. Looks like we got a calf on the ground. So first calf heifer. Should be a heifer calf. Yep. So I'm gonna pull the calf into that pen. We'll put one red band on the cow. So yeah, I was just talking about retained placenta. So it looked like this one already dropped the placenta. It was over in the pen. This is the first calf heifer, so these aren't really the ones that give trouble. It's more the older cows. Yeah, I want to see her clean. We call it to clean when they drop their placenta, and just make sure that the uterus cleans out properly. And if they get meatritis, it's an infection in the uterus. So all of our cattle are bred by artificial insemination, and we're either using sex semen to make sure we get a heifer Holstein, or we're using Angus. So if I see a black and white calf, I'm pretty much guaranteeing it's a heifer. Every once in a while we'll get a bull calf, but 95% of the time they're heifers. So not a lot of black and white bulls around here. So yeah, this is number 130. We haven't had a calf since the 14th of December, and today is the 20th, I believe. So almost a full week. Been getting a nice break lately. So I'll just put an H for heifer, and then Megan will tag the calf, so it'll get number 311. We use red tape for marking cows that we want to keep out of the milk tank. And what we'll do is we'll put a single red band on a cow that just had a calf, and that way the milkers know the fresh cow has one red band on the leg. And then they'll put a second band on in the parlor, so they'll have two bands. Or if we're treating a cow with antibiotics or something, they'll have two bands on their leg. So they'll be in with the last group, the special needs group. Usually these heifers are chill enough to let me put a band on their leg, but just gotta be a little careful. She should go right up and start eating now. In an ideal world, I would milk that cow right now so I can feed the calf. It's going to be a handful of hours until we have milk for it, but still get it within 6 hours. Okay, we got her milked. Say she had about a gallon, which is good for a heifer. Well, I got back to feed this calf and got another calf on the ground, which somehow got missed here. So I'm gonna bring her over yet. It's getting kind of late here, but we ran that other cow over quick and milked her right with the end of the special needs pen there. Calf's still running around. I gotta grab him here. We have those Smax Tech internal health monitoring boluses. Those give calving alerts, and they're usually very accurate. I did not get an alert on either of these two cows today. Usually about 12 hours before, you'll get a notification that one's calving. So they both snuck under the radar. It's kind of a surprise for me this evening. Okay, I got the calves fed. Holstein drank about 3.5 quarts, and the Angus got 2.5. Tomorrow morning we'll milk their moms again in the bucket, give them any more that they want to drink. I'm gonna go clean the bottles up, and I actually got a call from the feeding system. Said the hay was stopped, so I'm assuming we had a little cave in and bunched up in there, so we'll have to go get that going before bed then. It's kind of a late one tonight. We had a little mistake, had some cows mixed up, so we just sort some cows out, a couple groups, and then 2 fresh cows, so it's after 11 p.m. The lights are set to go off at 11, so I had these manually turned on. It's nice I don't have to milk tomorrow morning, so I get to sleep in a little bit. It's one thing that's been ingrained into my brain since I was a kid is we do not cut corners with colostrum. Super important that every single calf gets that colostrum that first feeding, so we make it happen. Okay, let's check out this hay box. Oh yeah, so this happens every once in a while right after I fill it up. Filled it up today, and just start it back up. Once it gets rolling, it's fine. Right at first, we got a risk of that. Well, I'm gonna go to bed. Had a little bit of snow today. It didn't really lay, but the pads are wet. Now the temperature is getting below freezing a little bit, so we're gonna learn tonight how well they deal with a little bit of ice. We actually got some snow here in the yard. We have an inch or two laying. It's just hovering around freezing, so it wasn't really laying on the roads. Ground was kind of warm yet. Hey guys, so it's now Monday morning. It's about 6 a.m. I'm just getting group 4 over. It is currently 10 degrees outside. It's not windy at all, so it actually doesn't feel too bad. The wind is what really makes the cold weather bad, to me anyway. Once we get down to this temperature, is when the slided floors stop doing their job. So we got frozen manure, and the slats don't let anything through, so it's starting to build up a little bit. It's not too bad yet. We might have to scrape these floors this afternoon. I'm not sure. Depends how much it thaws out today. It probably wouldn't be bad to just scoop this stuff out so it doesn't get too built up. It looks like after today it's going to be warmer again, so it's just a short cold stint. Right here is where I put that board up on the outside just to close that hole up a little bit. Watering troughs are still tall. Got a little bit of surface ice there, but yeah, it's not too bad. It's almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon now. I brought the skid steer out to the freestall. Guess we're gonna scoop a couple of these lanes out. It's starting to thaw already. Temperature's up near freezing now outside, and inside the barn it's a little above freezing. We'll at least clean the back alleys, which are against the side walls. We wanted to come through anyway sometime soon and scrape along this back wall. Start to get a bit of a build up here and up on this curb. I want to take a pitchfork down and clean the curb off. This is the type of build up I'm talking about. Over time, it's kind of crazy. Almost finished. Just gonna scrape through this area one more time. Did hit the front a little bit, but didn't get too perfect with it. It'll be melting and falling through within the next 12 hours. In the past, we've had some weeks where it stayed well below freezing during the day and then down towards 0 at night, and then things really start to build up and we have to chip the ice out. I'm gonna let these cows back in as soon as he's finished in this group. Kubota skid loader is much more difficult to get around those corners with than the New Holland. Now we're working at the second half of the barn. This side runs a little bit colder because of the north side, less sunlight, a little bit more frozen manure. We're just about wrapped up here. Another scoop or two. Let these cows back in. So today is 2 days before Christmas. Just trying to get regular chores done so we can take it easy the next couple days. Got some family gatherings and whatnot. I guess I didn't show the other morning there. We did get a little bit of ice. Stuff froze up after that snow and rain we had Friday evening. The robots ran all night without trouble, so it seemed like a little bit of ice doesn't bother them too much. They're proving to be somewhat resilient as far as dirt being on the pathway, and a little bit of ice doesn't seem to bother them. I think too much ice would be a problem, but yeah, it was encouraging to see that. See if we get a little bit of a bigger snowstorm the next couple months here and we can test them a little bit more, but I'm pretty confident we're going to be able to keep them running without too much trouble. All right, that'll be it, guys. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas.